Hey there, I'm Caden Rains, and welcome back to my basement. Today we are continuing Animal August with a trip to the Mushroom Kingdom or thereabouts with a Donkey Kong figure and a Chain Chomp figure, both from Jakks Pacific. And yes, I know Donkey Kong isn't really from the Mushroom Kingdom, but it's a Mario. It's part of the Mario world. Everybody thinks of the Mushroom Kingdom. So before you actually me, just know that I do know it's different. I am a nerd. I am a geek. Whatever. So anyway, I've had Donkey Kong for a while. I just haven't gotten him out. And then this Chain Chomp, I don't know if it's from the most. I don't think it's the most current line of Mario figures from Jakks Pacific, but as of this recording, but it's somewhat recent. And I still think of Chain Chomp as just a big round dog, and they usually portray it as that, and the sound it makes is usually sort of a metallic bark. So that's why I'm putting these two together, because I want to. But yeah, so like everything I do on this channel, it's just because I want to, and because I've got shelves or Lego tables to fill. But beyond that, let's get these out of their packaging and see what they've got going for them, and then find a place on the shelf. All right? All right. So here is DK Donkey Kong out of his packaging. Now, this is Jakks Pacific's 4-inch line that he's from. He is from his own Donkey Kong line, but it's basically just an addition to the Mario line, because I've only ever seen him and Diddy in the Diddy Kong in the 4-inch line. I've seen more in the 2.5-inch line, which I'll get to in a minute, but I don't have any, but I have thoughts. But anyway, and the reason Diddy Kong isn't here is because today with us is because the Diddy Kong 4-inch figure is basically the same height as Donkey Kong here, and that's no good. So I didn't buy that. This is the figure standing up at its tallest. It is, it's for like a $10 figure. It isn't too bad as far as posability. I mean, I don't have anything against Jakks Pacific, and I have a fair number of their Sonic line, but when you look at some of the like Sonic figures, a lot of them don't have elbow joints, and because their limbs are so thin, I guess. And I know there's like physics and money involved, but I don't know. It's just I don't expect like the highest quality from their average figure. Like, it, again, not bad, just not like some of these others that you see on the shelf behind you, behind DK here. But anyway, so he's got knee, ankle, and waist joints for his legs, as one would expect. And then he's got elbow, shoulder, and some wrist. It's really just goes around, and because his hand is so wide, it can look pretty bad. Like, that's not terrible, but you do get some of this overhang, and I don't like when you get that. So there's that. And the head is fine. It's a ball and joint. Because his shoulders are so wide and his neck is so thick, it's only got so much range, but it's not terrible. And then his tie just kind of hangs there. It's actually a loose piece. If you took his head off, you could take the tie off really easily. The only real flaw with this figure is that if you look at his mouth, that red paint is supposed to be the gums between each tooth, and a lot of them aren't even between the teeth. They're just on the teeth. So I would have just left that detail out. I'm sure someone was really happy with themselves when they designed that, but this is one of those times where design didn't think about mass production quality. So that's kind of a bummer, but again, this was like a $10 figure. It might even still be on some shelves. I still see the 2.5-inch line, and in fact, there was a somewhat recent, I don't know exactly when it came out, but I've only just started seeing it recently, 4-pack that comes with the newer Donkey Kong design, a Diddy Kong, a Rambi, and a barrel. And I really want to get that. Oh, really is a strong word, but I will probably end up getting that one because it's got a smaller Diddy Kong. I think the Diddy Kong would be the right size if it was like a 3-inch scale. He's still going to be kind of short and small compared to this Donkey Kong as a 2.5-inch, but I think that's the best bet for my OCD-ness. But then the Rambi, the rhinoceros. I'm pretty sure his name is Rambi. If it's not, I'm sorry. I guess I'm not that good of a geek. But I think it's the right size where this figure could ride it, whereas the 2.5-inch figure is too small for that. And then just having a barrel is good to have. Like, even if it weren't Donkey Kong barrel, it'd be neat to have that barrel. So that's like $20, and considering there's like I don't really want the 2.5-inch Donkey Kong. I kind of want to wait for it to go on sale, but I know there was a previous 4-pack, and I don't think that ever went on sale, and that had like Donkey and Diddy Kong again, but also Dixie Kong, I think. And then I don't remember what the 4th figure was, but I may eventually get that one, and I'll let you know if I do. But for now, it's just Donkey Kong. His only accessory is this set of bananas, as a gorilla, a video game gorilla is wont to want. Unfortunately, he can't grab them or anything. Let's see. Maybe we can get him to... Oh, this is not really posing the way I'd hoped. Yeah, no. That is really just... Okay, there. I got him to, for the moment, to hold the bananas, sort of. If by hold, you mean drape on his arm. So that's kind of a bummer, but it's not like I went in thinking he could hold them. Like, just one look at the figure and the packaging was like, oh, those bananas aren't going anywhere permanently. So I wouldn't call that too big of a negative considering the price point, but I'd be more willing to overlook it if they hadn't messed up the gums, like if they just left those that red paint off. So, do I think this is a bad figure? No, but do I think it's a great figure? Also, no. They did put out a bigger one, and it was like the Ultimate Edition or something, but I thought it was way too big for the Mario figures. Or just in general. I know gorillas are big, but they're more like wide. He's not a silverback, and I think silverbacks are some of the biggest gorillas. So, and I know it's a video game character. He is the size he is, but I just thought that figure was way too big, and it was like 20-something bucks, I think, and I wasn't spending that. I'll take the $10 figure that's around the size that I expect it to be. And I'm pretty happy with that. So there's our first figure for the day. It is pretty good. I kind of wish it would, like, there are little things I think can be improved upon if they do another Donkey Kong figure in the future. Or, because, yeah, like, this is the original rare design. So I could easily see them putting out another Donkey Kong that's got the updated Bonanza design. But who knows? I don't have any say in that, but I kind of prefer the rare design. I think while I don't dislike the new design, I think they made it too cartoony. And considering they left pretty much every other Donkey Kong character with the same design that they've had since the rare days, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that one change when it doesn't affect any other character. But now that we've looked at that, we'll do a quick look at our other figure for the day, that being the Chain Chomp. And I found this figure really kind of funny with its packaging. So if you've ever looked at the packaging for, I mean, most figures, but Jakks Pacific does this pretty consistently. Somewhere on there they'll have the points of articulation, 13 points of articulation, or 20 or whatever. But then you look at the chain chomp, and you can tell it's just like a thing they fill in it because it's 1 points of articulation. And I just find that kind of amusing because the only thing besides, I mean, yeah, the chain moves, but it's not like, that's just a chain. So the only thing is his mouth opening. And there's not like a button or anything. You just do it by hand. But, you know, I wasn't really expecting much else. You do get this suction cup on the base of his pike, I guess. Or not pike, but the spike that he's in that keeps him chained so he doesn't chomp what he's not supposed to. But, so I guess that's neat. I don't dislike it. I wouldn't have thought to do it, probably. But, yeah. I will say, though, while I'm glad that it's an actual, you know, you can decide if he's chomping or not, looking at the size difference between the one you'd find for $5 at, like, a checkout and the $10 figure, they are almost exactly the same size. It is really just the fact that the quote-unquote 4-inch scale has that 1 point of articulation and the suction cup. So, like, more chain chomps are more chain chomps. They've always been one of my favorite Mario enemies. But they're, it is kind of funny to compare them. And then its accessory is just a Mario block. Not one of the power blocks, one that coins come out of and will usually break when Mario hits it from under or does a spin attack or whatever. Mario won't be breaking this block because he's forever locked in the dungeon watching Bowser and Peach get married on my shelf because I'm a little weirdo. But that is the chain chomp. There's not much to say. It is a partial sphere that opens and closes with its 1 point of articulation. And it has a suction cup. So I'm going to find a place to put these on the shelf. And we're going to see how they look and then call it a day. All right? All right. Move aside, Chester Cheetah. Donkey Kong knows the real best topping for pizza, his bananas. But I think Donkey Kong thinks bananas are the best thing to go with anything. So his opinion might not be the best on the matter. Anyway, though, this is where I've put Donkey Kong for now. I do have a place where I think I'm going to move several of the animal figures from this month as the month goes on. But for now, he's hanging in the kitchen, letting Marge and Mikey and Chester know that bananas are where it's at. As for the chain chomp, he's just sort of hanging up here. I gave his block to the non-opening chain chomp, who's been guarding Mario for a while. Eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed him before today, but now he's got a little better view. Unfortunately, I wanted to pose the newer one with his mouth open, but because of the way he's got a little flat part on the bottom, but because of the way he's weighted, if you try to use that flat point, well, now it doesn't want to. Yeah, well, if you try to use it, his mouth will close. So I'll probably try to find something to jam in there that I can kind of put off to the side to keep it open. But for now, he's just hanging and watching as the weird little procession that's whatever the fantasy side of this display is going on. So those are our 2 additions for Animal August. I think DK is the better figure just because while there's no like quality issues with the chain chomp, it is so limited. Like, it would not surprise me if this was a accessory on its own with a different kind of setup, but and in that way, I do wish it was less than $10. It's bigger and it does move, unlike the $5 technically 2.5 scale, but they are almost identical in size, so I don't really know what you even call that scale. But I'm not like I'm not annoyed that I got either of these, and for now they're both gonna grace the shelves Donkey Kong in the sewer with the party animals, and you know, a lot of them are animals of some sort, turtles and sharks and dogs and dead dogs and hedgehogs, oh my, and so on and so forth. So that makes sense. And then the fantasy side of the next shelf is largely Mario villains, while there are others as well. It is I feel like putting the Chain Chomp up here works. So let me know down below if you have either of these Jakks Pacific figures, Donkey Kong or the Chain Chomp, if you think they're the right kind of animals for Animal August, or if you think these are just terrible pieces of plastic that I shouldn't have wasted my time or money on. I'm always happy to hear from you guys, so let me know down below what you're thinking. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.